Welcome, diecast collectors and construction enthusiasts. Thank you once again for joining me for another episode of Diecast Emporium. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a vintage NZG 150th scale model, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's probably another cat model, but in fact, it really isn't. Take a look at that white sticker with the black lettering. This is, in fact, a Barber Greene model, and Greene, little tidbit here, is spelled incorrectly on the sticker, but we're going to look right past that. A little bit of context here. Barber Greene, with an E at the end of Greene, was founded in 1916 by American engineers Harry Barber and William Greene. Harry Barber is credited with the development, creation, and patent of what we now know today as the modern asphalt paving machine. In late 1986, Barber Greene's manufacturing plant in Aurora, Illinois, was purchased by Aztec Industries of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Then in 1991, Barber Greene of DeKalb was purchased by Caterpillar for approximately $25 million, thus paving the way, pun intended, for Cat to have a paving lineup which you see today. Now, Barber Greene, the legacy of which lives on, and they were credited with many industry firsts, of which they included the first synchronized tamper in 1945, the first paver on rubber crawler treads in 1958, the first hydraulic paver, which followed a year later in 1959, the first automatic screed control in 1960, and then 10 years later, they were finally credited with the first hydrostatic paver in 1970. All right, let's go back to the model here. So, just like the real machines, if we go back to the time period of the 90s, Caterpillar offered their paving equipment during the first few years of the acquisition turnover. Choose whatever adjective you want to use. They offered the Barber Greene equipment, particularly the asphalt pavers, in Barber Greene Green, as well as the new Cat Black and Yellow for the first several years. And NZG did the same with the 150th scale paver models. So, this is actually the Cat AP 1055, but it is the Barber Greene equivalent, or the original, which in this case will be the Barber Greene or BG-245C. So, with your head on overload, let's go ahead and begin the unboxing and the actual models review. But again, I like to give a little bit of history and context to these models review. It's not just me sitting here showing you the different functionality and the details on this. I, for one, enjoy the history or backstory of pretty much just about everything. So, the box. Barber Greene right here, missing an E. Cat AP Asphalt Paver, same thing over here. Picture of a Cat AP 1055. Now, actually, this is the same box, just an FYI, that both the AP 1055 and the AP 1000, which is the rubber tire version of this, come in. And they are, in fact, checked or X'd which one is in the box. So, interesting that, again, the Barber Greene stuff comes in the exact same box. You take it out. Here is the first look at the paver. You can see that it is in a very refreshing, almost forestry green Barber Greene color, as I like to describe it. You can take it out of the box. There are no annoying twist ties or anything like that you have to fight with, but there are two small handrail pieces that you have to affix to the rear of your model. And it's very simple and easy to determine where they go. You just find these two holes at the rear. So one of them goes here, and one of them goes here. So what we'll do, let's take a very brief pause. I'm going to put both of these on the back of this paver, and when we come back, we're going to get into the features and the details. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for sticking with me. Okay, we've got the two small handrail protection pieces affixed to the back of the paver. Now, we're talking 90s here, guys, so I ask you to be a little bit patient here. This is not going to have the highest level of detail or function of today's paver models, but that's okay for me because this is the time period I grew up. This has a fair amount of nostalgia factor to it, which overcomes all of the downfalls that we'll say this might have compared to today's pavers. So let's begin. You have BG-245C. right here on the side of the hopper, Barber Greene. Note the correct spelling, Greene. On the back, you have your screed here, which has very little detail other than the casted-in pattern on the back, anti-slip tread pattern on the back. Coming back over here, again, very much the same thing. If we flip the paver upside down, you can see the pattern on the rubber tracks. You can see NZG, made in Germany. Also a screw, the material auger, which spreads the material back to the screed as well, which does not move. It is stationary, and it is a casted-in piece of the die-cast tooling. At the front of the paver, you have your roller wheels, which would engage the rear part of a dump truck to push him along as he's offloading into the hopper portion of the paver, which is what this is called. Let's not forget this Barber Greene logo right here, which again has survived the test of time and is just as crisp as it was day one coming out of the NZG factory. Inside you can see the material conveyor there, which again is casted into the die-cast piece. And that will do it for the details. Let's begin with the functionality. Again, very simplistic for the time period. We'll start with the front. The hopper wings or sides do fold up to a pretty good angle to get the rest of the material onto the belt in between loads from the dump truck, which again works very well. I mentioned before that your rollers wheels kind of do transverse left to right slightly. Your rubber tracks will move even today. If I push down on them, you can see that they will move in either direction, but I want to be a little careful because they're super old. You can see that they will move. Here's another nice working feature that is not immediately apparent to most people, but you see that the operator seat up here is somewhat in the center, but you can move it to either the right or the left position. And with some care, you can move the actual operator seat as well off to an angle to give the operator a better field of view as he is paving. The screed right now is in the lowered position, but you can also raise it up like that, as you can see. We'll lower it back down again and to show you the last piece of functionality, and that is that the screed sides do extend out for a wider lane paving operation. So to conclude the video, let's show it in a small paving diorama. We're going to mix decades together here just for giggles. We'll have our Barber Greene paver. We'll bring in a modern Volvo roller and a brand new International HX dump truck. And with that, you have a very small but effective paving diorama. That will conclude this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Take a look at your screen right now. You will see two links, one to my collection of asphalt pavers in 1/50th scale, and another to another recent Asphalt Paver 1/50th scale model review. Lastly, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of these old NZG models. Do you guys want to see more reviews of these? Or would you prefer I stick with newer models? And of course, let me know what you think of this specific model that you've just finished watching a review of. Thank you guys. Be safe. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next review.